I just wanted to share this with you. Companies will begin tracking their employees to enforce a harsh new policy. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, you can show some love by dropping a super down below. Guys, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. This is a very interesting notion that we're seeing. Very strange thing. So companies will begin tracking their employees, and this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning, guys. So of course this is going to be Dell, a company that was public and now it's private, and this is only the start because other companies are like Rockstar, the makers of GTA, Microsoft, Google. They're all going ballistic, coming up with Orwellian methods of getting their employees to return to the office, even though they're not increasing pay and salary. Dell Technologies is slamming its foot down on its return to the office policy, like so many other companies right now. It reportedly it is reportedly planning to start tracking its employees via their badge swipes and VPN connections in order to make sure that they are working from the office, according to a new report from the Register. The Register is a global online enterprise technology news publication. The tech company rolled out its return to the office policy in February when it began mandating most of its employees to work from the office 3 days a week and work a minimum of 39 days each quarter. Only employees who make lower salaries at the company have the option to be fully remote, but they allegedly risk losing the opportunity to land a promotion or internal job opportunity. Here's the thing about that. Many people don't care about promotions anymore. They don't want them. It's more responsibility. It's more responsibility for pay that's not worth it. They're like, okay, hey, buddy, we're going to give you an extra $10,000 to do all of this additional work. Doesn't that sound great? And most people are like, yeah, no, it doesn't. I don't want it. So a lot of these companies are pissed off because people don't want these promotions anymore. They don't want to move up to these companies anymore because it's just a scheme. It's a scam. So either they're going to sit there and just work, spend years doing this job, and then gradually quit. And the companies know it right now. Or I mean, it's not going to go their way. It's not going to go well for the company. So the policy reportedly caused internal turmoil as employees were allegedly given no direction or any say on what offices to report to due to capacity or business function constraints. Now, starting May 13, Dell will enforce a color coding system to monitor how often employees are working in the office, according to the Register. The system will give employees rating based on four different colors. Blue means consistent on-site presence. Green means regular on-site presence. Yellow means some on-site presence. Red means limited on-site presence. Employees who do not meet the attendance requirement will have their status escalated up the ladder to Jeff Clark, who apparently believes that being a hall monitor trumps growing revenue. An anonymous source told the Register Clark is Dell's chief operating officer and vice chairman. So, guys, if you don't come to the office, the president of the company, that's what a chief operating officer is. The chief operating officer of the company is the president of the company. And the president of the company is gonna reach out to you and it's gonna shame you and let you know that this is not acceptable behavior. I want you to understand that this right here is really just a threat. They can't really afford to fire these people. Don't get me wrong, they'll fire them if they can, but they can't afford to fire them. You see, Gen Z is not going to replace these people. Gen Z is not going into the tech field. Gen Z is basically the stall generation. They are not employees. They are being shunned out. 4 out of 10 employers are not hiring them. Okay, so they can't, a company like Dell, if they are forcing people to return to the office, a company like Dell cannot afford to hire Gen Zers because Gen Zers will not show up for work. These are people who would show up. This whole badge system doesn't mean crap to Gen Z. they would laugh at this stuff if they even pay any attention. They would laugh at it because they're already not showing up for work. You're lucky if you can get them to do any work remotely. So this is for older generations. They have to be very careful with this because the boomers are retiring. The boomers don't have more than 10 years. The last of the boomers will turn 65 in 2029. That's the last of the baby boomers. All right? And you have to remember that. And while they will likely rage, while they will likely raise unemployment, the age of unemployment, they're going to do that not for the boomers. They're going to do that for other generations. So they'll do it like, okay, so people born after 1964, the last year of the boomers, those people will not be able to collect Social Security until they're 117 years old. Okay? You'll get it when you're 117. People are living longer. You're not, but you'll get it when you're 117. But we need to be fair for our seniors. The boomers, this is what they were promised when they started doing this, and we need to make sure that they get what they were promised. But the rest of you, when you're 117, you will get that Social Security. Okay, not the full thing, not the full thing. You'll qualify for the full amount at 127. But at 117, you'll start to be able to collect a smaller amount. Okay, but yeah, anyone born born before 1965, you'll be able to collect your full Social Security at 67. So you're good, bro. You're good. Don't worry. We got you. We got you. You're our people. Oh my gosh, the boomers, the screwy boomers. So yeah, guys, there's this system. It really is they're kind of fools. They're kind of fools. The employers, they don't know what the hell they're doing because if they think the fact that that they're threatening to send it all the way up to the president of the company shows that they really have that they're desperate because most usually the president of the company would not get involved over some just typical employee not showing up for work. They're basically graping at straws right now where they're trying to get the most out of their remaining employees. And it's a very bad and dangerous move. Other companies that have tried something like this have basically walked it back because if you piss off the employees that you have and you don't have other employees that can replace them, it's a serious problem. In fields like this, it takes years to get employees that know how to do these jobs. It costs money to train them. It's not a good thing. The whole revolving door thing, very very bad, very very bad. And the new breed of programmers and so forth, they're not as good as the old ones. They're just not as good as the old ones, most of them, and it's a bad thing. A lot of people are giving up. So when you fire these people, you mess with these people. A lot of these people are going to say, okay, so it's just not economical for me to work at Dell anymore. It's not economical for me to do this, so I'll take a major pay cut rather than going back to Dell, and I'll go somewhere else. I'm a young man. I have a bunch of money in the bank. Let's say I'm 45 years old. I have money saved in the bank already. I'll just take the pay cut and go work for some other company, and make $50,000 a year. But I'm not going to work very hard. I'll work even less than I'm working now, like way less. Basically, they'll pay me 50K as a consultant to do nothing. I'll set up an LLC. The money that I make will go into the LLC. I'll pay myself, just below a certain amount so that I'm able to qualify for Medicaid. Yeah, for Medicaid and maybe even food stamps, right? And I'll basically live below my means, stay at home, play video games all the time, and barely do even less work than I do now. And they won't mess. Basically, this is what a lot of these people do. They get these jobs where they make very little money, not very little, but they'll make like $50,000, $60,000, but they're working remotely, and all their job really is to do is to basically jump in when there's a problem. So they basically are just like glancing at some logs, like they have it on their phone or a tablet or their laptop, and 99% of the time they're just doing nothing and relaxing all day. And then, there's that 1% of the time that they need to actually do something, and they'll jump in and they'll do it. And the companies are just grateful because companies can't do anything. The companies cannot do anything or say anything to them because they are getting significantly more value. And the person who's just chilling is basically like, they're basically getting what they want, to be left alone. Companies like Dell, they want to drain as much out of these existing employees as possible. And what they don't realize that, especially in this economy where people are realizing just how little they are worth to these companies, they'll just quit. They will just quit. They think that they're going to push people to the point where, well, it's better than nothing. You could have nothing and go be homeless. And you know what happens if you're homeless? They're going to the cops are going to torment you on the streets. They're going to give you ticket upon ticket upon ticket. If you go to the woods, they're going to come and get you in the woods. They're going to give you tickets for being in the woods. And if you don't comply, they're going to put you in jail. And when you get out of jail, you're going to be on the streets again. And they're going to give you more tickets. You're going to end up in jail again. And when you're up in jail again, and then after you get out of jail again, you're going to back up on the streets. It's going to be a vicious cycle, man. So you better just behave yourself and take the scraps that we give you so that you can survive and not be punished by the man. And people just say, forget this. Guys, you're going to have a bunch of homeless people. You have a bunch of homeless people, a lot of people living in the woods. And when you have like 1,000 people living in the woods that, that are all carrying, Second Amendment carrying, it's going to be very, very different when all these feds decide that they're going to try to go and move people off public land, and lawsuits start to get filed. And if they do this, it's very hard, because can they legally kick people off public land who have nowhere else to go? That's a Supreme Court thing. And where are they going to put these people? If there are no beds available, where they're going to force them back, or they're going to tell them to leave the state, leave the county, just don't be here. It's not pretty. It's absolutely not pretty. And if, like I said, if the Supreme Court gets involved and says that they cannot do this, you will see people just sleeping in the streets in places like Miami. Sleeping in the streets, sleeping on the beaches in Miami, camped out all over San Diego in the warm areas, and the state will not be able to do anything to start to mess with these people. Like, if these people will just keep filing lawsuit after lawsuit. These companies Western society has drained Americans of everything. And because of Gen Z, they don't have a backup anymore. There are no more generations after the millennials to do these jobs. Like, there's a handful of Gen Zers that are decent employees, but a lot of them have the same terrible personalities and dishonesty that the overall generation has. Like very, very dishonest people, very dishonest. You cannot give them real responsibility because they will do bad things. And there's something missing from inside of them. Like, they will screw you over. Like, employers will always screw you over, but employees we're always afraid of dishonesty. Gen Z is not afraid of dishonesty whatsoever. And that is the biggest thing. So even the few decent Gen Zers that you can find that will do work, a lot of them are still dishonest at their core. Guys, what do you think regarding this? This thing, because it's crazy. Don't forget, I have another channel called Men Walking Away where I drop daily videos. If you're enjoying the content on the Angry Guy channel and you want even more of these videos, you can head over to the Men Walking Away channel. There's a link to an description of the video. Go check it out. I also have another channel called Angry, where I discuss gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, real world stuff, or whatever else interests me. That channel is also linked in the description of the video. Go check it out. Subscribe to my channel. Support my work. Companies will begin tracking their employees, you're right, their employees, to enforce a harsh new policy. What do you think regarding this? Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away. And cheers.